What you mean? I love me a good Shoey too.
Oh man, introduce this shit, Kev.
No way in hell this fight is going to 5 rounds.
We're gonna see who honestly is outside of Israel Adasanya the best fighter at 185.
And in Tampa we call that getting boomed. You feel me? He was booming shit, like straight
Yeah.
up.
We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with being.
What's going on? Holy Blitz podcast. He just stepped into the motherfucking fight club. And before we start this video, do yourself a favor, go down, subscribe to the channel, and do us a favor and like this shit and comment down below to how much you're enjoying everything. But I'm Paul, Pick and Win 'em Concha. I got my shot poured up, and I'm joined with.
Hey, you heard my dog. We said subscribe, motherfucker. But nah, man, you know I already know who it is. It's your boy Lil KK, aka the Don PYE, aka that motherfucker on the screen, aka the nigga that's really out here chasing the green. You feel me? It's not really what you heard, it's really about what you seen. But we here to talk UFC Paris. You feel me? No, I'm saying I didn't know you could get an ass whooping in Paris until they brought the UFC over there. You feel me? But now I'm looking forward to this, man. We got big fights. We got my boy Bobby Knuckles. And look, I eat, sleep, breathe Israel Adasanya. Anything that is Izzy, I'm there.
That's true. He is.
If you told me this man Izzy had a fashion show, I'm there. I'm watching. I'm live streaming. Put me in. You feel me? But I fuck with Bobby Knuckles a long way, and he's taking on Marvin Vettori. So,
whoa! We're not gonna just breathe. This is number 2 ranked Marvin Vettori. All right, this is the number 1 versus number 2. We ain't just gonna breeze past number 2 like he's some bum. He also has only lost to that boy Israel Adesanya. So it ain't his fault.
Hey, Israel Adesanya is a fucking problem. But Bobby Knuckles, man, I respect him. I think he's a good fighter. I think not Bobby Knuckles, but I respect him. I think he's a good fighter. But he's a wrestling ass motherfucker, but he's not one of my favorite wrestling ass motherfuckers because he couldn't take Izzy down.
The second time, the first time he definitely did.
But now, how do you feel about this fight? Because I think it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a nice war. And I like to see Bobby Knuckles fighting somebody that's not a fucking stand-up magician. You feel me? Like somebody that can really like he'd be able to kind of get versatile and kind of get jiggy with him real quick. How do you think this fight's gonna go?
See, I like this because no one ever talks about how the middleweights like they fight each other a lot. Like the top of the top fighting the other tops. No one ever gives middleweights the credit they deserve. But like number 1 ranked Whittaker, number 2 ranked Vettori. You don't see that often. But my biggest quarrel with this fight is why the fuck is it a 3-round fight? Like y'all be giving out these 5-round fights to almost anybody in the co-main event nowadays. This is definitely neither one of these motherfuckers have fought a 3-round fight in like over like 3 or 4. Like these are main eventers, all right?
On some business tip, I feel like that might be like their way of saying they kind of don't want this isn't a number 1 contender fight.
Well, see, that's how I agreed with it too until Dana came out today talking about wrong fight. I got ahead of myself. He was talking about the heavyweights at main event. All right, but this might not be a number 1 contender fight, but damn sure both of them have lost to Izzy twice. So yeah. But at the same time, this is like the king of the division fight. Like we haven't seen these two fight each other yet, which I'm actually shocked to really think about. But we're gonna see who honestly is outside of Israel Adesanya the best fighter at 185. Because Israel Adesanya has been doing his shit right now.
And I love that because that's a great question. Because like Bobby Knuckles would be a generational talent if it wasn't for Israel Adesanya. Marvin Vettori is fucking huge. Like I'm watching him fuck up Paulo Costa right now. Right. And he can wrestle the shit out your stupid ass. Like
Whittaker coming from 170, coming up to 185, definitely made his fucking life a lot better. But You could chop one of fucking Marvin Vettori's legs off and he's not making 170. He's a big dude.
Fucking huge. So like, these are two generational talents, and you made the best point. Middleweights fight each other a lot. So like to really see who's gonna hold it down.
Strickland, Piera, Cannonier, Brunson, like all these cats have fought each other. Even Rioel Romero fought Robert Whittaker twice, and that's why we can start leaning towards the picks now. I don't know. This is a close fight. The odds show it's a close fight. They're number one, number two for a reason. My big thing is Robert Whittaker has been in a lot of wars. He's 31, but he's not the same 31 as someone who joined the UFC in his late 20s. Like, he's been in fucking wars. He was a young champion. He's fucking fought Yoel Romero twice, beat him. He's fought Darren Till. He's been knocked down a lot. He got knocked down against Izzy in his last fight just because he makes a lot of fun fights. And this so happens he takes a lot of damage in those fights too. 31, a little older now, just because of the wars he's been in. Versus Vettori, I think he's like 28. He's right in his prime. He got that wrestling background. Only a 3-round fight. Maybe he uses wrestling and clinches up, makes shit dirty, makes shit a lot like hard for the judges not to go his way. But at the same time, does Whittaker? Do you think Whittaker got it in him still? Like, I think he still has it in him, but he's been through a lot of wars. When are we actually gonna sit here and just be like, all right, he's on his we're talking someone last week who's just older, Jose Aldo. He's not
I low-key
yeah. He's not MVP talent anymore. He's still an all-pro. But when are we gonna sit here and be like, all right, he's gonna lose this fight because he's not this isn't 28-year-old Robert Whittaker. This is 31-year-old Robert Whittaker that's lost to the champion twice, and he's been in a lot of wars. And he had an ACL surgery not recently, but ACL surgery used to be the deathbed for fighters.
Who did he fight in between the Israel Adesanya fights?
You talking which person, Whittaker or Vettori?
Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles.
Bobby Knuckles, I could tell you 1 second. He fought Adesanya, then he beat Darren Till, Jared Cannonier, and he beat the crap out of Cannonier. And that was a 3-round fight also, which was weird. And then he beat Kelvin Gastelum. And then he got the Israel rematch, which we all saw this year, and he lost. Vettori, on the other hand, he went on a nice little run. He kind of beat some names he probably shouldn't have beat in his first run because he was so young. And Israel and him fought, and he beat Israel. But Vettori was able to take him down a lot. Fast forward, he wasn't able to do that again. So I don't know. This is a really good fight in my opinion. Like, this is you got wrestling versus someone who, honestly, if Israel Adesanya didn't have like the 6 inches on him, if they were the same height in a phone booth, I'm probably taking Whittaker. So this is one of the, you could not stress enough how much better of a stand-up striker Whittaker is over Vettori. But Vettori does have that wrestling in his fucking back pocket. And he's the bigger dude. And a younger dude.
That's a tough one, man. It's so tough because they match up so well. Dana picking ass. Dana and the matchmakers know what they're doing. But I think I'm taking Bobby Knuckles just off the face. I like him standing up. And when I'm watching Vettori versus Paulo Acosta, even though it's only the first round, but like I like Vettori to feel like he can try to stand up with him. But this isn't a 5-round fight. You can't attempt to do. You don't have time like that. But it's kind of got to pull the trigger and get going. You feel me? So I'm liking Bobby Knuckles in this one. I think he can fight a smart fight. I think he can have some good takedown defense. If I'm him, I'm standing. I don't know how good standing next to the cage is, but like I'm probably gonna use the cage to help me like not get my stupid ass taken down. But I like Bobby Knuckles in this one. But I think this is a 51-49 fight to me. Like I think Bobby Knuckles 51 got it. But we'll see how this shit goes because it's gonna be a great one. And it's in Paris. You feel me? He's gonna be sipping teas and crumpets and shit.
I guess I'll go the other side here. I'm gonna take Vettori as a nice little underdog, almost 2-1 underdog, plus 190. Just because the 3-round, it being 3-round, honestly, really I think could work against Whittaker, because I think Whittaker's can always win those championship rounds. But I think if those first 2 rounds, if Vettori gets him in the clinch and he's controlling him and he's like this kind of like winning on the judges book, it doesn't matter how much he's winning whenever they do stand up. I just feel like Vettori might be able to control him in those clinch changes and get him to the ground here and there just to make it dirty enough to win on the scorecard, because he does have a chin. And he in that Costa fight that you're watching now, like Costa was landing some heavy power shots, but Vettori was able to grind him and work him. And even though those power shots landed, and Costa is known for taking people's heads off, he was able to eat those power shots. And Whittaker, I don't think he has the same power as Costa, but he's way more refined and a better striker all around. Like he's just more technical. He'll land his shots here and there, but I just think Vettori's gonna have to. It's gonna get dirty and muddy, and that wrestling's gonna play a factor, and he's gonna win a couple of clinches and have a whole bunch of control time. And I think that's gonna, especially 3 rounds, it won't give Whittaker the time to take off in the 4th and 5th round.
That's interesting. We'll see how that shit goes, because like Vettori can pull the trigger, and Whittaker is kind of just like really trying to play like, because he's used to being. I wouldn't say used to be in the championship. Yeah, he used to be in the championship rounds. That could play against him, but I feel like him staying straight up and trying to stay square with Vettori can really be what keeps him, especially if he can do that for the first 2 rounds.
Not facts, but I'm happy we're split on these picks because it shows how 50-50 it is. But this next fight, I think we're both on the same side.
What you mean? I love me a good Shoey or two.
Oh man, introduce this shit, Kev.
All right, man. So this is UFC Paris. So you feel me? The main event, we got 2 heavyweights coming through to come bang it out real quick. You feel me? No way in hell this fight is going to 5 rounds. I'm just hoping it goes more than a minute. You feel me? Because I hate a minute round heavyweight fight. I like to see somebody get slept in a second, personally.
Yeah, I've been seeing it too often lately.
We got Ciryl Gane versus Tai Tuivasa, and I'm glad I never ever attempted to read these names. So we got Ciryl Gane, the motherfucking assassin, versus the Shoey drinking badass Tai Tuivasa. So let's start with my dog Tai. My dog Tai Tuivasa, he's on a nice win streak.
He is.
He's been he just came off of knocking out Derek Lewis, but like after watching the last Derek Lewis fight, we don't really know how valid that is anymore. But he's still a competitive fan favorite. Love him. He drinks beer out of random people's shoes. So it's not like he's not like he's a normal breed of individuals. Like this is a different type of guy. And he's I want to say he's Hawaiian or something, like Samoan or something like that. You gotta love it. But Ciryl Gane, introduce your cousin.
Ciryl Gane, bro, 6'4", 247, all lean. People used to know him as Francis Ngannou's training partner until word on the street back in the day. They were saying he was getting the better of Ngannou too much, and they had to cut him. And lo and behold, that boy is in the UFC. He went on a nice win streak, knocking off K&O and legend Junior Dos Santos. Decision wins over Volkov and Rosenstrike, knocking out Derek Lewis. Unfortunately, getting the title shot loss against Francis Ngannou, but he was piecing up Ngannou pretty good until Ngannou showcased a brand new trait that the world was not ready for. No one knew that wrestling was in his back pocket. He started this homegrown slamming this motherfucker around. But
hey, in Tampa, we call that getting boomed. You feel me? He was booming shit, like straight up.
It wasn't textbook, nothing. But Ciryl Gane is honestly somebody you can rate this fighter. You want your 250 fighter moving like a light heavyweight. Like he is so fluid. He bounces around on his feet. He's so technical with it. And I think this is a good ass fight. And he's homegrown in Paris. That boy, this is honestly for him. They gave him the main event slot for a reason. But this should be a good fight. And I like Gane to be prideful and be like, yo, let's just stand and bang. You want to just be your street fighter, Tai Tuivasa? Let's stand and bang.
I think it's cool. I think it's nice. It's nice that they set up the business like this because take it to Paris. Let's try to sell this bitch out and let's put the motherfucking second best heavyweight in the world in this motherfucker. You feel me? So like, Ciryl Gane's gonna fuck him up, but 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 Tai Tuivasa is gonna come in with an energy, and he might be able to catch, bro.
He will have a lot of energy. Like even though Paris is Gane's fucking backyard and he's gonna have a lot of cheers, Tuivasa will not be booed, and he will
No,
be getting his cheers when he walks out too. He's just that
I'm
big.
rooting for him.
Yeah, like even people in Paris will probably be cheering for this motherfucker. Like he's just that big of a fan favorite that like no matter where he goes, the crowd will always be behind him, even in enemy territory.
No cap. If I was him, I would definitely come out to some rock shit, shake the hair, you feel me, shake the bun, and let niggas know we coming.
Bro,
But
get
yeah,
like a Paris rock star song, bro. Get some
but,
song that really hits like get the crowd against Gane.
but this is interesting though, because after this fight, there aren't any more like heavyweights, so you kind of gotta figure out what's up with Ngannou. Like, there's nothing. The heavyweight division is gonna
Stipe and John
be a
Jones.
stalemate. Yeah, we got that. That's facts. I forgot about that. But we got some motherfucking the heavyweights division. The championship is kind of like ice cold. Like we don't know what the fuck is about to happen. They're stuck. What do you think is the best move for Dana White?
Honestly, I think Dan is doing the smart thing and just weighing it out, and he's still putting on heavyweight fights, like as if Ngannou is here. He's treating like Ngannou as if he's hurt, which is smart because all you're doing is really waiting. Are you signing with us? And if you're not, just give us the word. Like, say you're not signing with us, so we can have a fucking maybe like a Grand Prix of heavyweights. So there's like 4 people that should be fighting for the belt, like Curtis Blades, Gane, Tuivasa, like just throwing the names type shit that probably should be fighting each other and winner take all, winner get the belt. So I think Dan is playing it smart and just waiting because he knows that he is the biggest MMA contractor on the planet, and he knows this is the biggest organization on the planet, and I think he has trust in like he'll eventually sign him. Just like quarterbacks holding out in free agency and shit. Like if you really value this person, I have trust that eventually, even if you don't play preseason, you'll eventually be there. You'll eventually sign that fucking contract for all the money in the world, and you'll be there.
No, no cap, man. And like, it's good business to wait out because at the end of the day, he wants money. He wants. I think he should be. I understand that there's a lot of politics into it. You got to be a draw. You got to be able to sell this. You got to sell that. And Dana doesn't ever give away numbers, so you will never know who makes what. All you have to, if you want to listen to numbers, you kind of got to go watch DC, and then he might accidentally name drop because he swears, fucking Izzy gets 7 million a fight. I was like, whoa, that's not something you would say out loud. But
they used to have partners that his former partner used to love his fighters making $1 million a fight, at least his champion fighters.
yep, the Zuf, what are the brothers?
Pre-Suva. I can't remember the names. I always could say pre-Sufa era, but
no, what are their names? I can't remember.
But yeah, they used to all, even if you're not making it contractually, you're making your money. They'll make sure that their champions are taken care of.
Dead ass. So it's cool to see. It's going to be an interesting time because this heavyweight division has Stipe and John Jones, and like you got to figure something out by 2023.
All right, well, back onto the fight right here. So we both are on the fact that Gane's probably gonna destroy Tai Tuivasa. Shout out Romeo Mack, fucking fellow podcaster, our fucking family here at the Totally Blitz house, and he's on Tai Tuivasa here. So we have this big thing. He thought Tai Tuivasa, so he's not here to defend himself, but just so people at home know, there are people that think Tai Tuivasa is gonna beat this boy, knock him out, put him to sleep, put him like, hey, you want to make this into? That's why I think Gane's gonna make this into a stand-in war fight, and that's Tai Tuivasa's bread and butter. Like if he's gonna win, it will be in the stand and bang. That as Derek Lewis, as Greg Hardy, as Saka, as anybody who's ever fought Tai Tuivasa. He's not wrestling you. He's just gonna fucking welcome to the street fight.
Welcome to the streets.
But that's why I think this is gonna be a fucking Bring it out, bro. This is gonna be an exposure party. This is gonna be the party right here. Gane's gonna knock his ass out. Fucking like technically sound knockout. Like there's like not even a close fight. There's good night, Tai Tuivasa. I'm fucking standing on that right now. And then from here on out, Tai Tuivasa won't have that Dana White privilege of he's on a win streak and the fans love him. Well, like nah, now you might have to fight Curtis Blades after this. And Curtis Blades is gonna wrestle you, and all your street fight shit ain't gonna matter. Like I feel like this is gonna be after this fight, Tai Tuivasa's chances of touching that heavyweight gold it's gonna be like a slippery slope snowball effect of this. Like, like September 3rd pre-fight is the closest he'll get to his title shot.
And it's crazy because if he does win this motherfucker,
he shoots to the fucking moon. Like he don't have to fight nobody else. He can wait just like Nagano and be like, I'm waiting for you, Nagano, because I would sell. Hey, heaviest hitter versus Aussie street fighter. Like, let's just bang it out.
Let's get it, man. The boys gonna go ham with it too. So, but motherfucking, that's interesting. Hey, you know what's funny? On some podcasts and shit, you keep moving back and forth, and I'm like, yo, is there something wrong with my motherfucking screen? There's like a black dot. There's some black shit on his shirt.
It's the mic.
Yeah, it just hit me. It's a shadow from the fucking mic, and I'm like, that's funny as fuck.
The behind the scenes.
No cap, but nah, man. But hey, man, that's UFC Paris for you. There's gonna be some good. Hopefully, there's some good prelim. There's some good prelim fights. I'm gonna be there the whole time watching it. But shit starts at 3.
The main card starts at 3. The card itself starts at noon. So, but hey, this is gonna be a good ass card. Every time they go international, Dana White knows, even if these names do not matter to y'all casual fans, these are people that Dana White handpicked to be able to sell UFC in France. So these are people who are coming to bang. This is gonna be a UFC London without the Patty.
Damn, no Patty, and it's still gonna sell. Jeez. I think he did a good job because this fight could have happened a little earlier because they've gone and Tuivasa been waiting a little second. Like I've seen Izzy fight twice since them boys banged.
Yeah, and then I remember months ago I announced the Vettori versus Robert Whittaker fight on like UFC news, and it was with the Usman Leon Edwards got announced, I believe, and another fight got announced. And you asked me which fight was I most hyped for, and I said there was the Vettori versus Whittaker fight only because like I don't give a fuck if the belt is on the line. Like that's number 1 versus number 2. Like these people are literally they could sit on their ranking and get a title shot in the next 6 months, but they're not doing that. Like they're literally like, yo, let's just find out who's really king of 185 outside of Izzy.
Who's the next man up? You know what I'm saying?
But shit, wrap us up, okay? I think we did this shit justice.
Nice and smooth, cool and cool. We keep it cool. That's Totally Blitz Podcast for you. But this has been another episode of Totally Blitz Podcast. And if you didn't know, we don't mind telling you again, you bitch. You feel me? But we got nothing more coming for you. Make sure you tune into our boxing previews because we got Andy Ruiz fighting this weekend, the big dog slugger. My boy's Paul looking like a Miami Dolphin himself with the 75 damn Marino. You can't beat it. Matching hat. My boy's off to a fantasy draft. Football season's coming up soon. So
right around the corner.
We're going to have previews and recaps for all that shit. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you and the motherfuckers breathing on your neck behind you that you's a bitch.
Got a problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Then my gang got tools, you can call them boy crap. Man, this gang got rules, man, you better watch your passes. This ain't